Imagine walking into your local store and seeing the same bag of rice you bought last month suddenly cost twice as much. You'd probably blame greedy sellers or rising fuel prices. But what if the real reason was something far bigger? Something happening thousands of miles away between governments fighting over trade. Trade wars are often shown as battles of numbers, tariffs, and charts. But behind those headlines lies a quieter story, one that touches families, small towns, and even the air we breathe. In this video, we're going to peel back the curtain on the hidden costs of trade wars, the ones no one talks about. These aren't just about higher prices. They're about lost jobs, broken dreams, and ripple effects that stretch across borders. Stick with me, because by the end, you'll see that the true cost of trade wars isn't paid at the checkout counter. It's paid in human lives. Welcome to Wealth Pal, a place where future exceptionally successful and wealthy individuals gain an unfair advantage. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so as to never miss out on a future life-changing video. Without further ado, let's get right into it. What are trade wars? Trade wars sound like something out of a history book. Countries slapping tariffs on each other, leaders making bold speeches, and reporters showing graphs of rising prices. But let's slow down and strip it to the basics. A trade war happens when one country decides to punish another by raising taxes on imported goods. The other country fights back, and soon both sides are caught in a cycle of retaliation. On the surface, the story seems simple. Goods cost more, companies complain, and consumers pay extra. That's the version most people hear. It's the headline that flashes across the evening news. But here's the catch. Those headlines only scratch the surface. They don't tell you about the ripple effects that spread far beyond the checkout counter. Think of it like throwing a stone into a pond. The splash is a higher price tag, but the ripples? They reach workers, families, small businesses, and even the environment. They change the way countries trust each other, the way companies innovate, and the way communities survive. So before we dive into the hidden costs, remember this. Trade wars aren't just about economics. They are about people, places, and futures quietly reshaped in ways that rarely make the news. And those are the stories we're about to uncover. The hidden costs. When people hear trade war, they often picture politicians arguing, or maybe a headline about tariffs on steel or soybeans. But the real story is much deeper. Let's walk through the hidden costs, those quiet damages that don't make the front page, but shape lives for years. Number 1. Job insecurity and skill loss. Trade wars often hit industries that rely on global supply chains. Factories close when parts become too expensive, and workers lose not just their paychecks, but their craft. Imagine a town where generations have worked in specialized manufacturing, skills passed down like family recipes. When tariffs choke off imports or exports, those jobs vanish. And unlike flipping a switch, those skills don't come back easily. A welder trained for aerospace parts can't just walk into a new career overnight. Communities lose their identity, and workers lose decades of expertise. Number 2. Small business strain. Big corporations can shuffle supply chains, absorb losses, or lobby for relief. Small businesses? They don't have that cushion. A local furniture maker who depends on imported wood suddenly faces doubled costs. A family-run farm exporting crops finds foreign buyers disappearing. These businesses often shut down quietly, leaving empty storefronts and broken dreams. The loss isn't just economic, it's cultural. Small businesses are the heartbeat of communities, and when they collapse, towns lose their character. Number 3. Innovation slowdown. Trade wars don't just block goods, they block ideas. Collaboration across borders fuels innovation. Joint ventures, shared research, and global partnerships. When countries retreat into economic bunkers, scientists stop sharing, startups lose investors, and progress slows. Think of smartphones. They're built from parts designed in multiple countries. A trade war disrupts that ecosystem, delaying new technology. The hidden cost here is time. Years of innovation lost because walls replace bridges. Number 4. Mental health and social stress. Numbers on a chart don't show the human toll. Families under financial strain face anxiety, depression, and stress-related health problems. Farmers worry about unsold crops rotting in silos. Parents wonder how to pay for school when their jobs vanish. These struggles rarely get linked to trade policy, but they're real. Stress spreads like smoke. It seeps into homes, schools, and communities. The hidden cost is invisible but heavy. Mental health crises that ripple through society. Number 5. Geopolitical ripple effects. Trade wars aren't just about two countries. Allies get dragged in, forced to pick sides. A nation that once trusted both partners now feels pressure to choose, straining diplomatic ties. Over time, trust erodes. Countries hesitate to sign agreements, fearing sudden retaliation. The hidden cost here is global cooperation. When trust breaks, peace and progress wobble. Trade wars plant seeds of suspicion that can last decades. Number 6. Environmental impact. Here's one almost no one talks about: the environment. When tariffs block efficient suppliers, countries turn to less efficient ones. Goods travel longer distances, burning more fuel. Factories shift production to places with weaker environmental rules, raising pollution. A trade war meant to protect jobs can end up harming the planet. The hidden cost is measured in carbon footprints, polluted rivers, and rising emissions. Number 7. The domino effect. Picture this chain reaction. Tariffs raise the price of imported steel. A car factory cuts production. Workers lose jobs. Local diners lose customers. Schools see shrinking budgets as tax revenue falls. Families move away, leaving houses empty. The town's spirit fades, all from one policy decision. That's the domino effect of trade wars, the hidden cost that's spread far beyond the factory floor. Number 8. Generational impact. Trade wars don't just hurt today's workers, they shape tomorrow's. Children growing up in towns hit by trade wars see fewer opportunities. They may leave for cities, draining rural areas of talent, or they may stay stuck in cycles of unemployment. The hidden cost here is generational. Futures quietly rewritten by policies made far away. Number 9. Cultural exchange loss. Trade isn't just goods, it's culture. When countries trade, they share food, art, and traditions. Trade wars cut those ties. Suddenly, a favorite imported snack disappears. A cultural festival loses sponsors. Students miss out on exchange programs. The hidden cost is cultural isolation, a narrowing of horizons that makes societies less vibrant. Number 10. Trust in institutions. Finally, trade wars erode trust. People see leaders promise prosperity, then watch jobs vanish. They lose faith in governments, in global institutions, even in the idea of cooperation. That cynicism spreads, making it harder to solve future challenges. The hidden cost is trust itself, a fragile resource that, once broken, takes generations to rebuild. So when we talk about trade wars, remember, the real damage isn't just higher prices. It's lost skills, shuttered shops, stalled innovation, strained families, polluted skies, and broken trust. These are the costs no one talks about, but they're the ones that matter most. Case study. Let's bring all these hidden costs to life with a real-world example: the US-China trade war. When tariffs were placed on American soybeans, farmers across the Midwest suddenly lost their biggest customer. China had been buying millions of tons each year, but with tariffs in place, those shipments dried up almost overnight. Silos filled with unsold crops, and families who had farmed for generations faced crushing debt. Some farms closed, others sold land, and the ripple spread. Equipment dealers lost business, local diners saw fewer customers, and schools struggled with shrinking tax revenue. On the other side, Chinese companies that relied on U.S. technology faced delays and shortages. Startups slowed down, innovation stalled, and workers were laid off. To fill the gap, China turned to other suppliers, often farther away, increasing shipping emissions and costs. This wasn't just about numbers on a balance sheet. It was about farmers losing their heritage, towns losing their lifeblood, and industries losing their edge. The headline spoke of tariffs and billions lost, but the true story was quieter. Broken communities, strained families, and futures rewritten. That's the hidden cost of trade wars, damage that lingers long after the headlines fade. The big picture. When you step back and look at trade wars from a distance, the picture changes. It's not just about tariffs or numbers on a chart. It's about the way societies bend under pressure. Jobs vanish, families struggle, innovation slows, and trust between nations cracks. These hidden costs don't show up in headlines, but they shape the world we live in. Think of it like a storm. The rain is the higher prices everyone notices. But the flooding, the damage to homes, schools, and communities, that's what lasts. Trade wars create floods of disruption that seep into every corner of life. They alter the way countries cooperate, the way businesses grow, and the way people dream about their future. The big picture is clear. Trade wars are not temporary squabbles. They are long shadows that stretch across generations, leaving marks that are hard to erase. So now you've seen the hidden costs of trade wars, the ones that rarely make headlines but quietly shape lives, towns, and futures. It's not just about tariffs or higher prices. It's about lost skills, shuttered shops, strained families, polluted skies, and broken trust between nations. These are the stories that matter because they remind us that behind every policy are real people carrying the weight. The next time you hear about tariffs or trade disputes, remember, the true price isn't on the sticker. It's in the lives disrupted, the communities weakened, and the opportunities lost. If this opened your eyes, don't let the conversation stop here. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Share this video and join me in uncovering the stories behind headlines. Because when we understand the hidden costs, we can start asking better questions and maybe, just maybe, demand better answers. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.